Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome back to our live broadcast with Golden Parasol Healthcare Services. I am talking about caring for my aging parents, or in this case, it could be your aging loved one or anyone that you're taking care of. So, as I begin to get viewers to come on, I will give people time to log in and chime in, ask questions. But I am Katrina Martin with Golden Parasol Healthcare Services. We are a home care agency in the state of Mississippi. We service areas around the central Mississippi area and also the Delta, which is northeast Mississippi. We have an office in Greenwood, also an office in Byron, Mississippi. Several counties that we serve. So as we begin to get viewers to come in, I'll begin to talk a little bit about what we're talking about tonight, which is caring for my aging parents. So we'll give it a few minutes. I'm messaging somebody right now trying to get in. All right. For more information about Golden Parasol Healthcare Services, you can find us on go visit our website at goldenparasol.net. If you need to contact us, our office number is 601-988-3080. Again, that is 601-988-3080. That is the number for Golden Parasol Healthcare Services. You can also visit us on the web at goldenparasol.net. Give us a visit. We are a home care agency, so we provide in-home care service. Tonight I'm just discussing how to care for my aging parents, or how do I manage my aging parents. It's a topic we get asked about a lot and talked about a lot. When I get up to 10 views, I'll get started and get rolling. I'll see right now. Good evening. Hi, Monique. I see you. Felicia, good evening. Good afternoon. Good evening. And tonight I'm going to do something a little different. I'm trying to see, and I'm learning live. So as I go through this process of learning, just bear with me. I'm going to try to see if I can take a live, another person on live as well, to ask some questions or go over some topics around what we're talking about tonight, which is caring for my aging parents. So we will wait for a few more views. So we'll get started in just a little bit. And this is a topic that we get asked about a lot, just how to manage aging parents. Last week we went over, and I'm just kind of giving a little bit at a time because I do not want to keep us here on live long. Just a little bit about caring for aging parents. Last week we just talked about how to just assess the need of your parent, just looking at some key things when we're looking at what our parents need at this stage in life. And once you start managing that, the first thing you want to do is just take an assessment of what their needs are. So when you take that assessment, we said pay attention to key things like family support. So that's just who else in addition is available to help and support. Also pay attention to home, assessing your parents to reconnect. Okay, I've got lost a little while. I'm in the rules, so my internet is not the best. So you also want to look at their mobility and making sure that they're able to get around and how they're getting around. Is it time for us to maybe look at getting some assisted devices in the home for them. Are they able to get around without any devices? So you want to pay close attention to their mobility needs. And assessing them, look at their personal hygiene, things of that nature. Looking at their ability to do their meal prep and housekeeping tasks for themselves. Also just looking at social interaction, making sure they're getting involved as much as they can with community events, outings that they're going on and doing things like that. So in the comments, we'll leave some tips from last week where we just talked about how you assess the needs of your parent. So these are some quick things that you want to just pay attention to. Like I say, take a quick needs assessment and see what area, what they need in each of those areas. So when you're assessing, you want to look at those things as well. Give a few more people a few minutes to come on. And like I said, I will not hold you all long tonight. Just going over a few points on caring for my aging parent. Again, I'm Katrina Martin with Golden Parasol Healthcare Services. We perform in-home care services for elderly and disabled clients. We come in and help with all of their self-care needs, but we are also here as a resource to the community to kind of help you through the process of learning to be a caregiver in an effort to have the best care provided all the way around. So we're here as a resource for you as well. I'm getting froze some. Okay, let me make sure my connections are good. And it looks like they are, so. Looks like they are all good. Okay. Okay. So tonight, just in caring for our aging parents, last night again, we talked about just assessing the parents' needs and what they have going on, and taking a good look at that. The other thing, and tonight, I want to talk about another much needed process that you need to think about when you are caring for your aging parent, and that is just assessing your own personal needs and abilities. That's you as a caregiver. Looking at what your needs are and what your abilities are as it relates to being able to manage and provide care for your aging parent. So when you assess your own needs and abilities, I always tell people, start off with this. Think about the logistics. Think about where everybody is. A lot of times, family members, your parents may be in one state and you're in another state. So once you kind of look at their needs and what they need help with, you want to see, okay, so where do I stand? So is this a situation, do I live close enough to visit or check in as often as I need to? And if you do live close enough, then great. That's good. That works out well. But if you do not live close enough, you want to make sure that you have things in place that so your parents are being checked on, or your parent is being checked on regularly around the times that you are not there. And also that once you've assessed them, it's safe enough for them to be able to be at home with just regular or routine check-ins. And how much of a check-in and how often do they need check-in? So when you're thinking about the logistics, think about, do I live close enough to visit as often as I need to? You also, once you move past that and you say, okay, well, we're moving past just regular visits, and it's like my parent may need to have someone living with them. So you have to ask yourself this question: can they live with me, or do I need to go live with them? And so if it's beginning to come a situation where your parent needs someone there way more than just routine check-ins, you want to make sure and start asking yourself the question like, okay, how does this living arrangement look? So look at your abilities. Are you in the position where you're able to move in with your parent? Or are you in the position where your parent is able to move in with you? So you want to pay attention and look at those things as well, especially as their need may increase as far as them not being able to be home safely with just routine visits and check-ins. So think about the logistics. If check-ins can work and you're close enough to do the check-ins as often as they need to be, then you're good. If you're not there and you can arrange for some other family member or some type of service to do the check-ins, and the check-ins are working safely, great too. But if you've moved to the point where you're beyond check-ins and they need to either live with you or you live with them, or some type of person or entity is there for the around-the-clock service or the longer amount of care that they need, you have to assess that as well. So pay attention to that. You also want to think about, and I think this is very important, the dynamics of your relationship with your parent. What kind of relationship do you have? Do you have that type of relationship where you can spend a lot of time together without creating negative feelings or negative thoughts? I'm going to make it simple. Are y'all going to get on each other's nerves? So you want to pay attention to what you can do as far as the dynamics of the relationship. If it's more frustrating for you or that parent for you to be there, you want to pay attention and really assess that situation as well. For example, and I'm just going to be honest and transparent because, again, I was co-parenting and caregiving with my mother for my father. And everybody know, my dad was a very alpha male, strong personality type. I am an alpha female, strong personality type. So there were a lot of times in that relationship dynamic when it came down to managing his care that we bumped heads and we collided. It was good that we had my mom, who is a lot more patient, is a lot more calm, a lot more reserved, that she could handle some things a little bit differently than I. And there were some situations where my daddy needed that firm, hey, look, this is not what's going to happen. We're going to the hospital right now. So you want to know the dynamics of the relationship and how that works and what does that look like when you're caring for your aging parent. And you want to have a balance. Again, it goes back to what we talked about last week about having family support and people around, because it takes, like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to help with an aging parent. A lot of times the burden of being a caregiver is placed on one person, and that should not be. There should be a team of people that are assisting and participating with care. So if you have extended family members that can help in any way, you want to make sure you utilize that support in all the ways you can. And again, as my mom and I both were being caregivers for my dad, it worked to have one stronger personality, and it helped to have another more patient, relaxed personality that didn't push so much. So think about the dynamics of the relationship. How does that look? How does that work with you being a caregiver? Make sure you're not creating negative feelings for your parent or for the person you're caring for, and that there are no negative feelings arising for yourself as well. The other thing you want to do is ask yourself, do you really have the personality that you need to provide the type of care that they need? And when I say the personalities, you really want to know if this person has dementia and they're needing you to repeat things over and over and over again. Do you have that calm, patient, relaxed personality that can kind of guide them through? What's your personality type? Because it's going to also say how can you provide the care that they need in the best way to provide it. So you want to do that. You also want to look at it and ask yourself, am I willing to learn about the care that's needed? How much can I do? So it's relatively easy if your parent is only needing supervision or management over their medicines and just following up with their doctor's visits. But when that care becomes more extensive and you need to learn things like maybe how to change a wound or a dressing, or if your parent then starts needing other things like tube feedings or getting in and out of bed, more assistance with that, am I able to learn the skills and the things that they need for me to properly take care of them? So that's something else you want to look at. Am I willing to learn that the care that they need? Am I able to provide that care at that level that they need it? That's an assessment of yourself that you have to constantly do as you're caring for an aging parent. The other thing you really want to consider, does your health allow you to physically take care of someone? So again, as your parent needs increase, it may be that they need more physically from you. So they may need help getting up and down and in and out of bed. You may be bending over, tying shoes and pulling pants up, or helping them up and down out of a wheelchair. Guess what? You have to be physically able to perform all of those tasks. So you want to ask yourself, am I strong enough to do this? This is not just a mental strength that's required to be a caregiver. It's also some physical strength as well. Know your limits. Know, okay, I can help do this, but when I bend over this way, if it requires me to lift so much weight, it's a little bit too much. It's not good for my back. I got to look at something else. So you have to be fair about what you're able to do physically. You also have to take into consideration what your home dynamics look like, as well as your family support. Most of us who are dealing with aging parents have our own day-to-day activities. We have our own 9-to-5 jobs. We have our own family and children that we have to take care of as well. And we're not in a position to drop it all to provide 24-hour care or support for our parent. So we have to look at what our abilities are, how can we manage, how much we can do, and just kind of take the level of care that we're providing from there. So I'm going to read through some of the comments, because as I get questions, I want to answer some of those. But I see a comment, being willing is definitely the key. It is the key. The thing about being a caregiver for your aging parent is you got to come in like a clean slate, and you have to be willing to learn. In everything at all is best, we all know we love our parents and we want what's best for them. So with that being said, be patient and just learn everything you can through the whole process. And becoming a caregiver, you have to learn to be a caregiver. It doesn't just happen overnight and you know all it all is about caregiving. Get as many resources and as much help and assistance as you can get. It's best to take an honest assessment of what you can and cannot do early. The sooner you sit down as a caregiver and know your own abilities, know your own needs, and what you can do, the better it is for the whole process. You won't get yourself into a situation that you're not able to sustain. The best thing you can do is to take down an assessment of your abilities. Utilize your help, whether your help comes from other family members, if your help comes from various agencies, like a home care agency to support the care needs, or a private duty sitter. Some people hire other help to come in to assist with the care needs. But you want to make sure and take an early assessment of what you can do. The thing you want to avoid is caregiver burnout. Caregiver burnout is real. And if you don't do these things up front and take the assessment and the time to plan in the beginning, you will more quickly run into caregiver burnout. The more you take your time in the beginning, assess the need of your parent, see what they need help with, how much help they need, where they need it, then you sit down with yourself and say, okay, how much can I provide? How much care am I willing to give? How much care am I physically able to give? Do that assessment. Then sit down and come up with a realistic plan of how you can properly manage your aging parent in a way that's safe for your parent and also safe for you. So that is all I have for you all tonight. I told you I will not hold you long, but I wanted to drop that quick tip. I'm going to go through the comments and see if I have any questions. I see a couple of points that I added. That's great. Any questions? If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. I will answer whatever questions you have. Yes, caregiver burnout is real. We get a lot of phone calls from family members who are just tired. They want to take it on and they want to do it all. You know, you want to provide all the care at every level. And one thing that I talk to family members about all the time is knowing how long you can manage this level of care safely. That's the most important thing. We all want our parents to age at home and stay either at their home, our house, wherever, as long as possible. we don't even want to consider or think about or anything like that. I won't even say it. But the truth of the matter is you have to be able to safely manage in the community. And there may be a point where that can no longer be achieved for whatever reason. So that's why it's important to constantly take an assessment of their care needs as well as your abilities. And that's something that you'll do throughout the process. I say take that assessment every time there's a change in their condition or there's an increase in their care needs. Okay? Shanika, yes, working in the caregiver support program. Oh, that is great. There are a lot of support programs that help with caregivers, that help relieve caregivers. A lot of times you may hear the term respite or in-home respite. Respite means that that is a program or entity or person or resource that comes in to provide care while the primary caregiver gets a break from their daily duties. So Shanika, that is a very good point. Caregivers need a break, they need respite, and it does help a lot. A lot of times with in-home care agencies, we're able to come in a few hours a day, and that can let that caregiver go to the grocery store, go get their nails done, go get their hair done, just go take a walk. It gives them time to breathe and get out of that role of being a caregiver. Guys, just becoming caregivers and managing aging parents is a big task. It takes a lot, and it takes a lot of help and support. So the more you know different resources and you try to get help from agencies, that will assist with that as well. We also have programs. There are federally funded programs and state funded programs that will assist with bringing in respite programs and different things like that. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to us, 601-988-3080. And we can talk to you one-on-one about what may be available in your area in terms of resources for additional support services. Okay, any more questions? Home care is a blessing. Yes, home care is a blessing. We love in-home care and all things in-home care. And we are here to provide support. Again, we're here as a resource just to help you through it. A lot of things about caregiving is just learning how to get the services that you need started. So we're here to help you as a resource. I won't keep you all here long. Thank you for coming in on this live. Again, I'm Katrina Martin with Golden Parasol Healthcare Services. We can be found on the internet at goldenparasol.net. Please like and share our page. Like and share this post. I always forget to say that, but please like and share this post. And if you want to contact our office, you can reach us at 601-988-3080. Again, that's 601-988-3080. We have two offices located in Byron, Mississippi. The other office is in Greenwood, Mississippi. And we serve the 5 surrounding counties around both of those areas. It was great talking to you all, and have a good night.